Hello parents and carers, Charles Fillingham calling from the prep school site. I'm standing by this beautiful magnolia tree just behind Malvern Hall. If you've read the letter I sent to you, you'll know that this short video is to offer you some feedback on the feedback that you've offered to me. And if you remember filling in the form before Easter, there were 3 parts. A series of statements to which you could agree, disagree, strongly agree and so on. There were some Goldilocks questions where things are just right, a little bit too like this or a little bit too much like that. And there was a SWOT analysis where you wrote down the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities and threats facing the school, as well as some open text boxes that you filled in for me. Taking the first one, I'll talk probably here for 3 or 4 minutes of the whole video, so settle down, and if you've got time, this is what I want to feedback to you. On the first one, a series of comments. I've seen these in many schools. They're the same ones that the Independent Schools Inspectorate used. And they're not perfect results, but they're quite a strong starting base. For example, 87% of you said you think the schools listens to views of parents and pupils. That's not perfect, but that's a pretty strong base. 88% said you think the school treats children fairly. 92% said the school helps my child with his or her teamwork and social skills. And 94% of you said you think the school cultivates good behaviour. Now within those comments there's things for me to unpick, and I'm grateful to you for them, but it's just from a strong base that we carry on. I also asked you a series of Goldilocks questions. I've been playing this game long enough to know that the time will not come where we all think everything is perfect all the time. Aren't we a stronger community by not agreeing about things from time to time? But I'll show you some charts so you can get the kind of data that I've got from you. They're made up of pie charts. This one is about the homework. It's quite interesting. So 70% of people think that the homework's about right. Small percentage, about 15% each time, think either there's too much homework or there's not enough homework. Well, what should I do with that? Well, I've dug into the data just a little bit more for you. If you can see this one, you can see that at the senior school, slightly more people think that there's not enough homework, whereas at the prep school, slightly more people think if anything there's too much homework, whilst in the context of most people thinking it's about right. I think there's something for me to pick up from this. Leave that one with me. Thank you. Interestingly though, your children, also filled in a similar survey, had quite different results to this. Can you guess what they thought? They thought there's too much homework and it should be less of it. It'll be the same when we come to uniform, I'm afraid. This one is about academic standards. Do we push and drive your children too much, too little, or just about right? We're just about right. But some people, 20% think that the school could ask more of your child, and your child has more to give. And when I delve down into that one, that is more at the senior school than in the prep school. So what that's saying to me is there's a feeling that we could ask more of your children, and so I'm asking you to leave that with me once again. I've received that information. This one, parents will make you smile. Parents and carers, 84% of you say uniform's about right. Some of you say uniform's too strict these days. And some of you say we could smarten ourselves up a bit. This is one where your children are totally the opposite. Your children say less attention should be paid to uniform these days. Well, again, the staff have got another view entirely again. So leave that with me. There is a difference once again here between the prep and the senior. The prep school parents think that the uniform is fine. The senior school parents slightly more think, oh well, it's not as fine as it could be. And I think we're not looking again for everybody to be in complete agreement, but I am looking for points of difference and things where I can direct my attention. Behaviour. Much the same. The behaviour at school is good. I've worked in 6 schools. The behaviour is very good at school. Some people think it's too strict, but some people think that we can tighten ourselves up a bit on that. Once again, in the senior school, there's a slightly larger feeling we could tighten up on behaviour than in the prep school. I've received that message and I'm thanking you for it. And this is the last one I'll share with you. I have a lot more information, but this one I asked, do you think we do enough on languages and careers, international careers, and looking out for a spirit of internationalism? And I feel you've given me an endorsement to, over the coming months and years, develop our spirit of internationalism at the school, because actually that's an area that I think chimes with many of us in the modern world. And then finally though, I wanted to say, in the SWOT analysis, the strengths and weaknesses, the opportunities and threats, naturally enough, many people mentioned that the VAT on school fees could be a worry going forwards. But you also wrote me pages and pages of prose. I've read all of them. I've catalogued them. I've totted up how many people mentioned different things. I wanted to say I have received that information as well. The themes in that were sport, food, academic excellence, and others. I've read all of them and I've read them carefully. And just because you might be the only person who's written it doesn't mean it's not worth writing. In some cases there were dozens of people who mentioned the same thing. And this is useful to me. I'm grateful to you. You are helping me to set the agenda for the school. I've also asked your pupils, our pupils, your sons and daughters, what they think. And I've also asked the staff. I spent the whole afternoon with governors earlier this week, where we spent 4 hours together thinking about the future direction of the school. I'll come back to you later this term with some more analysis and with highlighting to you what I think the direction should be and what course we will set. But I finished where I began by saying, we're starting off on a strong base. This is a great school, one of the great schools of England. I'm delighted to be here. I'm pleased to have had your candid feedback, and I'll stay in touch with you. Best wishes. Bye-bye.